I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, our beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again. Oh, that's why. Would you mind turning this light on for me, my darling?
I was wondering if you were gonna notice that.
I was like, what's happening with my shot?
Warm.
No.
Nay.
Yeah.
You look
Better.
like a supervillain.
I just looked like I was underexposed.
Are you gonna tell a scary story?
Be one of those like with the flashlights and stuff, like in a world. Luminescent butterfly. Hey, it's nice having you here again, friend. It's been what, 2 days since last seeing you. How have you been doing? How's life been treating you? Have you been taking good care of yourself? Have you been adjusting well to the changes? That's today's stream topic, at least. The fact that we adjust to change. Considering how we adjust to change. Change will be the only constant. I think we lightly talked about that yesterday, right? Is that the more time you spend, the more you realize that change is going to be one thing that you will never get to escape. So, if that's the case, how will you be adjusting to that change?
Embrace the change.
Embracing that change. Huh, Zoe? Are we going to embrace the change?
Hi.
You've been embracing the change that I've been bringing to you. You want to step up to me?
Step up.
That's a good girl.
He was like, dude.
He wants to step on the back of this couch. That's actually what he wants. So he's just using me as an intermediate. There he runs. Wow. Yeah, sure you do. Did he eat his vegetables? Yeah, he doesn't seem too stoked about the vegetables this morning. I made it good. Oh. I put a bunch of cookies in your vegetables for you too. I don't even know if he literally came running towards you when you said that.
I'm getting you one.
She's getting you one. Wow, what a lucky bird you are. I have resistance to change, but I notice the universe forces it on me. So I have no choice. The parrot is out of this world. He's literally not supposed to be in this world, kind of thing. Do you know where they naturally occur?
I think Brazil.
Brazil.
South America.
It's crazy to think that this thing,
Hello. Say bye-bye.
this creature just exists in
bye-bye.
nature. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Zoe. That's a good girl. Uh, brutal facts. Have you been paying attention? Have you been paying attention? Maybe not. Like, you have to be blind, right? Blind, deaf, like unable to read braille, like unable to taste.
You're talking about the dog?
No, there was one person that was like, eating rump is the goat. I'm trying to say it in a way that I'm not saying it still right, and I'm like, no.
Hey. Oh, what? I was gonna say, to each their own.
No, it's not actually a rump that he was talking about.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, keep that stuff to your,
Yeah, and
take care of yourself.
today's stream topic is about change, right, and how we adjust to change. And I feel like it's kind of apt that we have someone like that in chat, because sometimes even if there's like reason to change, some people just won't.
I mean,
I think that's interesting too.
Everybody has their own flavor that they enjoy, and who am I to tell them that they're wrong?
I will tell you you're wrong. I am the kind of person who will tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
Joe is the kind of person who
I'm not
would.
the kind of person to shame anybody. I will respectfully disagree.
It's true. Yeah, Joe is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Understanding, I think, in that way. Is understanding the way I'm looking for? Like, yeah.
Curious and not judgmental. That's what I am.
Exactly. Yeah, and I am.
What makes you want to do that?
She's curious and not judgmental. I'm curious and judgmental.
There might be some sense of like judgment, like to make me be like, oh, weird. Why would you want to do that? But it's more curiosity, like what? Yeah. To each their own.
My mind wants to like play into that energy of yours, like, what? And then I want to go, did your mom drop you when you were a kid? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
See, the way you do it is so shameful towards people. Like,
Sometimes.
you want to shame people.
It's not shaming.
Yes, it is.
It's not shaming. It's almost like poking fun at, right? It's like,
which is shaming, but which makes sense because you did say you were a bully.
yeah, it's true.
That's bully energy.
There's a little bit of bully energy, damn it. Some people need to be bullied. Some people, I needed to be bullied, technically. I think so. I got bullied.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong in the way that you show up. I'm just saying that you and I are different. Alan Watts will say that, like, this world is a place for every single person to have their place. There's a, like, everybody has their place.
I kind of like that. Yeah, that's pretty wholesome, actually.
You know, some people don't want tongues in their fart punchers, and some do, and, you know, to each their own. You're talking about the rump thing.
Tongues in their fart punchers? What word was...
that's eating rump, right? I'm just taking it back to the beginning.
Like, I'll say weird shit sometimes. Then suddenly you catch me off guard with a line.
I gotta go to work.
Love to you, Joe. Thank you for joining us for this little start of stream. I had to break up a cat fight and I missed the troll. Yeah, I had to. It wasn't actually a troll. I don't think they were a troll necessarily. I just think that they wanted to share their political opinions.
Political?
It was political, yeah.
Oh! I thought you said eating rump, like...
Yeah.
That's eating booty.
No.
Yes.
That's not what I meant. But yeah. Even then, what's wrong with you?
You and I were talking about completely different
I
things.
wanted to not talk about it at all, and I was...
whole time.
Yeah. Are you more on board of what I'm saying now?
Now I'm more on board with what you're saying.
There you go. You see, now she's also curious and judgmental.
Now I'm like, oh, you weren't talking about eating ass.
No. I think eating ass is better than being a support. Oh, GBs. Luminous.
I would rather eat ass.
Oh, this is...
That's funny.
This took a turn.
This got unhinged.
Yeah, real fast. That's okay. Love is true. Like, that's why I was so confused about your line of like, what? What did you just say? Where did that come from?
Eating rump is your booty.
No, I was just trying to exclude the T. I was just trying to exclude the T. I love you, Zhao. See you soon. Luminescent Butterfly says that she was a bully too. What kind of bully were you, Luminescent? And why did you bully? All right, I bullied because I felt alone. And it made me feel like I have some sense of power over the social hierarchy that I was forced into. That was bullying for me, where I was like, yeah, I might be forced into this unchosen social hierarchy, but at least I can be strong. I can be strong in social hierarchy. Right? Yes, you can make fun of me. Yes, I will cry, but you won't see me crying. I'll cry somewhere else. It's not actually true. I cried in front of people all the time. Not all the time, like 2 times. And they made fun of me for that as well. It's not shaming. It's just poking fun at. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, again, Sam, the line was, political opponent is the GOAT. And the GOAT means greatest of all time. Right? And then I'll reiterate, I'm like, your mom had to drop you like over and over. I'm being so mean. I'm poking fun at, I'm not shaming, okay? For you to believe that, for you to really believe that such a person is the greatest of all time. All right? Just like so many drops. Maybe like dropping kicks even. And I got bullied too. Why am I not surprised, Luminous Butterfly? It usually works that way, right? And I think that maybe even the kids that bully first in their own like home units are being bullied by their parents or by their brothers or by their cousins, or they're probably bullied as well. So the bullying continues. I just think they wanted to share their political opinions. No, they were definitely talking. No, they won't. No, they won't, Sam. I don't know. You didn't see the message, but it was very clear what they wanted to say. Very clear. They said, name of political person is the GOAT. That was it. That was the full context. All right. It was very clear. And I was like, yeah, near. I bullied the guy that I was in love with. I loved him too much. It's kind of wholesome. A little bit wholesome. Hey, Gobs. Skibab. Skibab for you. Oh, welcome. Thank you for having us here with you. Dan, here too. People who checks notes believe they could take horse dewormer to cure COVID. You were cute. Thank you, Michael Stevens. Michael Stevens letting me know once a day when he comes here that I'm cute. Appreciate it. Love it. Christo, hello. Thank you for joining us too. And we got Dan saying, have I ever shared with you guys a business idea that I have? It's called Swaggart. And it's essentially Go-Gurt meets rap snacks. Hip-hop themed tubes of yogurt. Yeah. You know what? I think I would have remembered if you had shared something like that. Now that you're sharing it again, I think it's a good idea, and we should. It sounds interesting. Tell me more, Dan. Doesn't make you poop. My mind is going down the rabbit holes of like how much of the yogurt is being absorbed. Speaking of dope food. As a food gab, yes. Dope. Nice. You gonna tell us about the dope food that you've been making? Look at us. Look at me. Look at me adjusting to change. I can even talk about food now. Well, my algorithms have been upgraded. Yes. I can now talk about more topics, including food. My hair is still drying. Right. So I'm still in the, what do you call it? The grace period of getting to actually do something about it. Indeed, Melt, it is memorable, and you certainly would have remembered. I would have, right? I would have remembered. Now that I'm remembering that I didn't remember, I'm remembering that I could have remembered about Globama too. You know, glow stick themed Obama festival, or Obama glow stick themed, or Obama glow sticks, where it's a little figure of Obama filled with glow stick liquid that you crack so that it glows. Yep, that's my contribution. Yep, glow stick, Obama glow sticks. I made medicinal cookies last night for my brother. You have curly hair like my brother too. Oh, that's cute. Landon Strut. Yeah, curly hair comes with its own unique challenges. It's basically like having an entity living on top of your head. State Farm just sent me a message. Thanks, State Farm. Oh, what? What kind were they, Gobs? Do tell us. Yeah. I mean, they were medicinal. Didn't you read? They were medicinal kinds. Chalky chip. That's nice. Chalk chip is a classic. Kelsey brought over these, I don't know what to call them. I've never seen them before. Like crunchy brownies. Imagine if brownies was cut 3 millimeters thick. And if you don't know what millimeters are, get with the metric system. 3 millimeters is like that much. Maybe they're even 2 millimeters thick, actually. And then they're crispy, right? They taste like brownies. They have chocolate chips in them, but they're crispy. And I was like, how about this America we're having? And then afterwards, she told me about making her own ice cream. And she gave me 17 different combinations. And I was like, is this what it's like living in America? I said, literally, I was like, it feels like I'm getting American. Globama is another great idea of mine. It's a glow party hosted by AI hologram Obama. You know, I liked AI hologram Obama, but I'm actually thinking that we should make him just a big glow stick, right? Everybody gets small Obamas that glow, and then the main show It's just like a really big glow stick, right? That we like get a bunch of people, like you have to like punch it to get it to start glowing, right? And then people just take turns. Actually, we should do glow trompa. Now that I'm thinking about this idea, that's probably better. Glow is another great. I have no idea what effect they have because I can try them. Because I can't try them, lest I be fired from my job. Lame. I reckon they're quite medicinal. I'm sure they will be. I think you probably used some of the flowers that grew close to you, didn't you? Right? And you did mention that they came out well. And if you use the right volume, they can't not be. And I'm sure you didn't overcook it as well. So, huzzah. AI Obama will be introducing omni-genre acts. Think everything from Metallica to Sabrina Carpenter. Just know Taylor Swift. She's banned from Globama. Yeah, because she was too into it, I heard. She was like too into Globama and she was just like making a mess of things by, like screaming at the top of her lungs about how excited she is about Globama and oh my god, I can't even believe it's Globama again and it's so cute. Did you measure the medicine with your heart, Gab? You're a good brother. Absolutely. And I meditated over them while they were cooking or they were cooling. Yeah, we can do both, Mel. AI Obama can be glowing. Yeah, but we can't crack. We can't crack, right? Crack the metaphorical back of the AI hologram, right? Everybody wants a crack at the glow, right? That's one of the things that I've heard about Globama. Taylor Swift was taking up too much time. Like she was just like holding on to it. Fucking people couldn't pull her off of it. That's why she had to stay home. Hosanna! Indeed, my oily hen. Huzzah! T-shift came on too strong. She needs to chill a bit. Yeah, she needs to chillax. Maybe she can come back in 55 years from now. That's the grace period. You fuck up, take a 55-year break. Taylor Swift is the best. Well, actually, Taylor Swift is the second best. I have, through my own bias, checks notes. Yep, here it says I'm actually the best. Taylor Swift is close second, but I'm joking. Steven Show, I'm joking. I'm just making jokes. We don't have anything against Taylor, do we? Checks notes. I think I do have things against Taylor. Who's number one then? This guy. I have consulted the board, all of the voices inside my head in unison. Actually, all of the voices inside my head have just let me know that I'm actually second and Taylor Swift is actually third and Mariah Carey is actually with number one. You should marry me. That was like, oh, Taylor Swift is the best. Who is the best too? You should marry me. Like, is that the conclusion upon you hearing that I'm in fact the best that you want to marry? Just kidding. Okay. Whew. That was close. I almost married a man, Steven. Are you a man, Steven? That was real close. I am better than T Swift. I challenge her to a duel. Then we'll see who's the real master of the blade and the force. Yeah, I'll challenge her to a fist fight. Right. Then we'll see who's the best. What's up, Taylor? What's up? I'm just imagining the scenario where I do, in fact, challenge Taylor Swift to a fist fight and she kicks my ass. Like she freaking wipes the floor with me, Makes a song about it to embarrass me afterwards even. Are you from Chicago? No. I'm from Africa. Technically. South Africa, if you want to be precise. And the internet overarching, right? After I lived in South Africa, I started living on the internet. And then after I started living on the internet, I started living in America. That's pretty much how it went. I'm sending Joe some love right now. We've been dealing with a little bit of nausea, and I feel like a spike of it coming up in me right now. Deep lung breaths. I am okay. My body is in perfect health. There we go. Better. Your outfit already tells that you're from the beach. You think I look like I'm from the beach? I do like beach-like energy, right? Being all laid back and stuff. So I'll take it. Your outfit already tells. So you basically Rhodesia? No, basically not. I think. I think Rhodesia is a country in Africa, right? I like both. Dan, you will lose. She uses the same magic that Beyonce and Elton John use. You are beyond. Yep, Melt. T Swift's moves. Hey, what's up, man? I like the pink scarf. How's the coffee chewing this morning? It's good. It's exactly how I like it, right? It's easy to chew, I find. This be my pink scarf. It used to be the same shade of pink all the way. And then I was like, oh, I wanted to have some white in it. And then I bleached it myself. And I kind of regretted bleaching it. But now that I can see it like this, I'm again not regretting bleaching it again. Yep. Just like that. Part of me wishes that I did some more sprinklies. I was thinking I'll just do the middle bit. Like you see here. I mean, like this. Yeah. But it's not as long. It's not as long, boy, of a scarf. It's a little bit shorter. I have a total of, I think, 16 combat journeys. Part of me wonders if you've seen all of them now. You don't know the power of the dark side. Yeah. Dan will play dirty. Dan will use his powers of force to actually just flick the other person's lightsaber switch. You know, totally. Morning goofballs, morning toast. We're bringing pretty goofy balls in this space right now. Are you a vegan? Just like Tree, would it matter if I was a vegan? Would you respect me more? Or would you respect me less? Right? There's two kinds of people when it comes to that question. I would probably be the opposite of a vegan, right? I have spent more time in ketosis than I have spent in vegansis. Vegansis is not a thing, Mel. You still understand what I'm talking about. So maybe it is a thing. Maybe it is a thing. No, I've never been vegan. Literally not even for, I think, a single week have I been vegan. Part of me is still kind of curious about it. But it's hard enough for me to get the calories I need in a day. Never mind having to eat copious amounts of vegetables. Also, really quick, you said it takes some deep lung breaths as opposed to what, my man? Also, you said it takes some deep lung breaths as opposed to what, my man? You'll have to give me more context. Combat journey, I'm missing some context on that one. Sevi Balateros, are you a psychopath? I don't think I'm a psychopath. No. I was kind of convinced at one point in my life that I might be a sociopath. Right? When I was like 16, I was like, oh my goodness. Is there something wrong with me? Right. It turns out I just needed more experience. Right. Get to know myself a little bit better. And I don't think so. But I don't know, right? I think you have to be diagnosed by a professional in order to really know. And I haven't been, at least. I've been diagnosed with other things, but not with psychopathy. It was when we were kids. Sam says, my brother, did I miss context? Why do I feel like I'm suddenly falling into a message here? Maybe it is. It was when we were kids. My brother got pissed off at something our parents told him, and he said, shut up and eat your coffee. He, of course, meant coffee, but we call it foffy, ever since. I think you've said this once before, but I've forgotten it in the meantime. It's still cute. And now I find my dear friend actually does eat his coffee. And this whole friendship feels like it was always meant to be. Yeah, you can be like, you know that time when you said eat your coffee and we were laughing at you for coffee and for eating it? Well, it turns out you were an oracle all along. You were knowing what will happen in the future. I've definitely seen a lot of them. Do you watch cricket? No. No. I don't watch much sport at all. I think I've spent a total of about 13 hours in my entire life watching sport. Did you see me just kind of like query in my mind? I'm not joking. It's probably less than 13 hours, but I was giving myself some extra time on the high end. A terrarium? I think it's interior design fail. All of this, well, it's been proven that it improves quality of life and mental wellness. So that sounds like a win to me. It sounds like great success. You're good. You said take some deep lung breaths. I was asking, how else can I take a breath if not using your lungs? I get you. Maybe it's a matter of like shallow breathing versus right? One, you're really using your lungs. The other, you're almost just puffing them up. An arrogant narcissist. Illegal alien. Interesting username. I'm sure you spend your time being constructive. Go sport. Go sport. Let's do a room review. I'd like to hear your vision for the room and what you're going for. Well, let me give you this as like an overarching context. Drake, this space that I am in right now has been graciously created, and the doors have been opened. I need to go and give that plant water. Sorry. By Jovan, right? So this space was like this before I was here. So in that way, I can't really give you the exact vision that I was going for, because I wasn't going for a vision in this space. This space was created by Jovan. And I'm sure the vision is to have plants that she takes care of. There you go, sweetie plant. You got this. You got this. Let me feel your soil. Yeah, you need some love too. Let me check the rest of yes. Anyone else complaining? You are complaining too. There you go. You feel still fresh. Ooh, you also? Do you also need some love? There you go. How about you? You doing good? Nope. Love. Oops. That one got overloved. Okay. Thank you for calling to my awareness. These poor plantsies. They do need some water. So in that way, the intention for the space is to have living things here alongside us. Right? If there was a mindful intention set, there you go, babies. Sweet. I think most of them got water again. I put like 64 fluid ounces on them. Thank you for calling to my awareness, my planties. All right, so yeah, I think you've given me a chance to think about it. The vision for the space is to have things that are living alongside us. Let me go get something quickly. You're gonna open your friends up on the secondary device. You stay right there. Yay. Whoa, what's happening here? Oh. I used to have YouTube Premium, but when I moved to America, YouTube Premium was like, well, you haven't, your whole family in America, and so you can't get your YouTube Premiums. Which I don't understand why it's like that, but I guess I do actually understand. They want me to pay more money, right? I'm still a part of the same family, but since I live in a different country, must be Firefox plus uBlock. Yeah, it's more about the features, right? There are some features that come with Premium, and it's also good for channel metrics, right? If you're a Premium subscriber and you tune into a channel, for instance, if you are a Premium subscriber and you only watch my live streams, for example, almost all of your Premium subscription, I think something like 60% of it or something like that, will literally go to me directly. Right? I think that's how YouTube kind of like calculates their stuff. Are those tarot cards? No, they're sacred geometry cards. I'm not really that into tarot. I've had my tarot read 3 times, and each time it was interesting, right? A cool reflection. But these are not those. These are sacred geometry cards. Sacred geometry for the visionary path. And here's the little William card that we got when we stayed at his place. I'm not vegan or vegetarian. I love meat, but the average American could probably need one of those diets for a little bit. Yeah. Surprisingly, I've not been eating as much meat since I came to America. Like, the amount of meat I was eating when I was in South Africa will horrify some people probably. Like when I told Joe that I, like in my process of growing to the size I'm at right now, it took me eating between a pound and a pound and a half, sometimes 2 pounds of ground beef every day for years, right? Now that's what you need in order to build muscle, kind of thing. And like when I shared that, she was like, kind of like, wouldn't that be expensive? And yes, yes, it would be. I eat only meat and mayonnaise. Yeah, see, for maximum calorie efficiency. You will get a lot of calories that way. You won't have to eat much. My ass combat. We didn't need no fucking veggie diet to overthrow King George, and we don't need it now. Why do I always have migraines for a long time before a spiritual awakening? That one I can't answer you with any degree of certainty, Luminescent Butterfly, but there might be a quirk of your own unique experience where having a migraine might push you towards almost like wanting to escape just the physical state that you're in, to the point where you have to tune into spirit so that you can stop feeling pain. That's the way I'd interpret it. That's exactly right, Sam. These sissy liberals want to make us soft, want to make us lose all of our gains. Too many outdoor plants and not enough indoor. The lights and pots kill the vibe. I think more glass jugs for your planters. Like, what's up with all of this advice you're giving, right? Kill the vibe. What kind of vibe are you looking for, right? These plants are like just entities living their little lives here next to me, right? That is the vibe I'm looking for. It's like me, the living, and them, the living, and us next to each other, living together. That's the vibe, right? You don't have to look deeper into it. We got all the basics covered: whiskey, bacon, powdered donuts, coffee. That green shit can take a backseat. Firefox. Aren't all plants outdoors? Move to America? Terrible mistake. I've loved it. America is nice. America's pretty great though. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it's that great watching gas go up 100% since I got here. But it is great that I don't have a car and I don't drive much. Right? When I do want to transport myself, I'll do so either by walking or when I get my wheel working again by riding. Right? A little electric vehicle. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that's really been a pain point. Right? It is expensive living in America in general, and it is harder eating high quality food. However, quality of life is nice. I get why people like America. I really do. I think it is one of those things where if you have grown accustomed to the level of comfort that America provides, and then you were asked to even let go of one fraction of that comfort, right? People lose their minds. Where I'm from, we don't have any of the comforts you have come to expect, right? And in that way, I am almost like stepping into a world of bliss comparatively. America is pretty nice. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, right? Don't believe the propaganda. This place is cool. I've been to China as well, and China is also pretty nice. China is also pretty nice, but only if you're rich. Only if you're like really well off. If you're gonna be working a job in the city, not gonna be nice. Ask me how I know, right? And I think it's one of those things where it really is a matter of it depends. The place itself doesn't really influence you as much as the life you live, right? And there is this kind of certain kind of choice in that as well. Like there's a lot of life to be lived in America. I'm sorry, I'm looking at other plants that need water too. I'll give those water as well tonight. Well, after this live stream, I guess. Ah, stankin' ah. I don't know what that means, but it sounds funny. It sounds like Anakin in a way, isn't it? All right. You can tell when it's 10 minutes before class every time it happens. Missing that one too. Drake, I'm with you on that. Big fan of the glass vases with sagre, sphagnum. I hope I said that correctly. Sphagnum, moss, and leafcake clay pebbles. That would be pretty nice too. Good morning, lovely peoples. How y'all doing? Zhou is here with us. Hey, Zhou. It's nice having you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for spending some time with us this morning. We're putting a stop to the terrorists and the vegans, Zhou. How are you? Tarot cards can be fun, but I hate the people that pretend they're like mystics, that say some of the vegan stuff happening will happen to you at at some at some point. That'll be $20. Yeah. Me reading that message, Combat Journey, that'll be $10. Only $10 for you, right? Give you special discount. I'm waiting. Well, I know what you're talking about. I actually have a friend. Uh, friend is a strong word. I have an acquaintance, a person that I've met, and that I have met more than once. Right, I met him at a festival for the first time, and he is a TikTok live streamer, and that's what he does. He TikTok live streams, and then he has a tarot deck, and then he pulls those tarot decks or pulls cards for the people in chat. And he literally showed me his like payment metrics and statistics. Like, I think between $800 and $1,600 a month in South Africa to read tarot cards to people. And I was like, okay, I guess you can do that too. He would also like provide like private classes. So that's the other part of it, where he was basically making a whole living for himself from home, just doing the tarot stuff. So like, I guess that's why, right? If you could, wouldn't you, kind of thing. Kiddos looking up, love streams to clown on just before class starts. Lol. To be a silly kid, learning and growing, embarrassing yourself constantly. How blessed. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Kiddos looking up love streams to clown on just before class. I think it makes sense, right? It's like, see if you can have like a little bit of an influence in the world. Like, I'm gonna say this thing. See if this guy reacts to it. He's not been eating much meat. Perspective and relativity. This mofo eats a lot of meat. Yeah, that is the perspective and relativity shows. Like, did he just say that he's not been eating a lot of meat? I mean, you saw the droewors and biltong show. If you have to translate droewors and biltong to like wet mass, because droewors and biltong is a basically 20% of the mass it was when it was wet, right? And you watched as I consume so much droewors and biltong, right? I would easily, and I'm not joking when I say this, easily eat a whole pound of beef in a single sitting and still be hungry afterwards. Be like, nice. How about second pound? How about second pound of beef? So, did you listen to any Santana yet? I did, Rock Shaman. I listened to the album that had like the four-eyed tiger because I was like, sick. I listened to Festival. I listened to Amigos a little bit, but I couldn't really get into the groove, right? It was good, but it felt very acquired taste kind of thing, right? Has to be something that you've listened to and have liked for you to listen to it and like it, right? Some music really just gets me, and I'm like, I'm here for this. I didn't not have that. I listened to some of it, right? But I didn't like fall in love with it specifically. I hope you don't hate me for that, Rock Shaman. I'll be honest with you at the very least. I've been trying to talk Teddy into building me a shack to smoke some meat, and Jovan, he isn't going for it yet. I mean, if you start smoking meat in that shack where the wasps live, they'll have to move at the very least. That could be a double whammy. Sorry for my sniffles. When you two gonna come see the Red Rocks? You asking me and Joe Toaster? Are you inviting us out to Arizona? Is that what's happening right now? I've been right, Toaster. Little kitties and their first phones. The clown attempts are adorable. Hi to you, Kenny. Good morning, BSF. Hello, Kenny. It's nice having you here too. Unless they are in fact phones. They could be. They could be agents, AI agents. America is also only nice if you're rich. No, not as much, right? Not as much. I think it is kind of like that. I think rich is relative, right? Where in China, if you work a job, you're still poor, right? Like, for instance, my assistant teacher, the person who was the real teacher in my class, essentially, right? I was some white guy who came from an English speaking country, and as a result, I had automatic authority to be English speaker 5000. However, my assistant teacher was a literal mechanical engineer, right? He had a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. And he, because he has a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, has had schooling his whole life and has been paying attention to his English subjects, including during his university kind of like degree, meaning that he developed the ability to speak decent English, right? We could carry a conversation. And then this assistant teacher would be the one that basically reteaches my class while I'm teaching it, right? Where I still had to like go through the exercises and get the kids to say their names and repeat the stuff. But he was the teacher who was actually telling them what they were saying, right? So in my mind, personally, I'm like, he's the real teacher. I was just some monkey, right? Dressed up to dance so that the parents will bring their kids to where the monkey is. All right. This is how I felt when I was in that space. Right. And then that freaking bachelor's holding mechanical engineer teacher was being paid 6,000 RMB a month. Right. Hey Google, how much is 6,000 RMB in dollars? Yeah. I think the exchange rate is better right now, but he was getting paid 880 US dollars. Yeah, the exchange rate is definitely better because it was 2 rand for a RMB when I was there, which was about 12,000 rand, which is about 700. Okay, so it's not that far off. It's like 150 extra dollars or whatever. But it was like $700 when I was there. He was getting paid $700 to do the harder part of my job. I was getting paid more than double that, right? Then, on top of that, he had to pay for his apartment. Hey, Google, what is the average price of an apartment in Shanghai? I hope it's going to give me in dollars. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's giving me the actual purchase prices, but 730 to 770,000 US dollars to outright purchase them. Can you tell me what it's like to rent in Shanghai instead? Here we go. Oh, uh, renting in Shanghai, if you want to move in immediately, you will expect to spend 6,000 to 10,000 RMB. So his whole salary, literally more than his whole salary, just to have a place to stay in, right? So like that was kind of what it was like. It's like you can go to university, you get a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and for what it's worth, my brother is a mechanical engineer, right? He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. He's being paid at least 3 times in South Africa as much as that guy was getting paid, right? Like that's the problem, right? So even if you're in China and even if you have a degree in freaking engineering, and even if you're lucky enough to get a job in one of the big cities, you're basically spending 70 to sometimes 90% of your salary just to have a place to live, right? I remember this specific person that I'm talking about was living with 4 other guys as well in a single apartment. So they would like split that big apartment cost into like 4. so that they at least have some money left after they've like spent their money of their salary. But they were sleeping in the same rooms, right? And there's no shame in that. But it is this matter of these people are hardworking people who have spent the time to educate themselves so that they have higher earning potential, and still, right, it was really rough. So in that way, I feel like America is a lot better, because if you spend the time giving yourself the skills, there is going to be a job out there somewhere for you in America that will pay you at least enough that you won't spend 90% of your salary just living, having a place to live kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not disagreeing completely, Dan. Uh, anywhere, anywhere is better to live if you're rich, kind of thing. But China can be especially hard because of the amount of competition, right? Like when you're competing with 25 million other people just in the single city that you live in, right? I grew up in South Africa. South Africa has a population of 60 million, right? So this one city almost had half the population of my entire country. And you're competing. You're competing with those individuals. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It's only if you're rich. I said that as a man working a job in cities in America for 10 years. Yeah, I can think it's kind of the same in New York as well. But at least you're getting paid like multiple thousands of dollars, Dan. Right? You would be getting paid hundreds, probably not hundreds of dollars. Maybe if you're lucky, $1,500 doing the exact same work you're doing right now in China. I can almost guarantee that. I have a secret spot I'll take you to in Sedona someday. We would love that. We are actually planning to make a road trip, coast to coast. We would like to do coast to coast, drive through the entirety of America, and then come and meet you friends on our way. I think we'll have to get a new car before we do that, because I would rather light myself on fire. I should not say stuff like that. Than spend the fuel, combust the fuel that it will take to travel that far. People are always so strange when they talk about vegans and vegetarians. I mean, I get a lot of it. It's jokes, then that's fine. But it's just this weird, braggadocious manner that they talk about vegans. I think it's a matter of like uh, in and out groups with that stuff, combat journeys, where people see it as a certain type of in group or a certain type of out group, right? And then not being in that in group or out group, you get to like say stuff about it. The only time I've ever heard the full word braggadocious was when they themselves were guilty of having done it to the very same breath. Yeah, that's also the other side of it. That's legit on the bucket list, toast. I'm on a job hunt for remote work. If the universe provides, then windows of opportunity will be opened. Yeah. We'll get like some sort of satellite internet. Make sure we got a stable connection wherever we go. And then we'll travel America and show you friends what we get to see. Show the internet you friends, ideally. Braggadocious. What an iconic word. It is a good one. If I wanted to lie to people to get money about magic, I'd be a preacher and go for the big money. Yeah, true. I think everybody is. I think Joe. Let me bring it back to that. Joe actually shared this morning the wisdom that Earth is a place for everyone. Right? Every single type of way of being, every single life that there is to live, this world will give you that. Right? You get to have whatever life it is you need here on Earth, including the one where you charge people $20 to pull a card. Harry, I truly feel sorry for the amount of anger you self direct, and I hope you can move on to a more healing place in your life. I think Harry probably subscribed to come and join us in this space. You are loved, Harry. You are worthy of love. Even you, right? Despite everything that you've said, all of the hurt and hatred that you've projected, even you are worthy of love. Wait, this guy's South African? I haven't heard any the antwoord. He's not even Zef, a scammer. That's kind of funny. The fact that you use the word Zeph, that's the part that cracks me up. Zeph is like tap it, like rough, right? I don't even know how do you describe Zeph. It's like when you're a degenerate, essentially, right? If you're max degenerate, then you're Zeph. Because Zeph. Toasty, you've been to Slide Rock, Sedona, so beautiful. I can't wait to see it as well. Meeting starts now. Be good. Love you, Zhao. Have a good time with your meeting. Same, Zhao. My managers are trying to get funding for a new position for me to move into the world, only to require me to commute to Brooklyn maybe 4 to 6 times a year. Remote the rest of the time. That sounds pretty cool to me. Like that for you, Dan. And when we meet Melt, and I can trade pashminas, and I'll have a little drawing for him. Dude, you'll have to tell me which pashmina of mine you like the most. But it would be cool to trade one with you. Man, suddenly my mind is like extra excited. Plus commute reimbursements once I'm remote, so I could go far. Like a flight to New York City far. Nice. Hey, Christy is here with us as well. Hey, Christy. It's nice having you here, friend. I don't know if you need to hear this right now, but since Dan brought you into this space, you've been nothing but a presence that is appreciated. And I hope that you know that you're loved. Thank you for joining us today as well. Hello, friend. Darren, that's one of my favorites. Just a few miles north of me, talking about the sliding rocks, where the rocks are like sliding on the ground kind of thing. I think that's the one you're talking about. English speaker 5000. You like that, Kiefer? Oh, bless. I appreciate you laughing about that stuff, dude. I need a vacation from my vacation. A vacation with the three little ones is not a vacation. I have been morbidly exhausted for a week. Yeah. My mom and my dad used to fight extensively about stuff like that, where her words were, when we go on vacation, I just basically become a maid to six people. Right. And I guess that's probably the experience you're in part going through as well, where it's a lot. It's a lot. They won't be little kids forever. Right. And in that way, cherish this time as well. Right. I think it's a little bit easier said than done. It's like, oh yeah, I should just cherish. Oh, why didn't I think of that? You say to Melt. Why don't I just cherish these screaming kids a little bit more? I'm so silly. Why didn't I cherish them harder from the start? You got this, Christy. I cherish them. Cherish them, kids. Right? Hug them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm fine. I'm calming down again. Melty, my friend. I am a software slash hardware engineer. I have zero assets, and if I lost my job in 6 months, I'm 6 months from homeless. I'm in the top 10% of income earners in New York City, and I am poor. 6 months is a good amount of time, bro. That's a long time, right? And I don't know. I hope you do actually have some assets. Zero assets is really concerning, dude. Maybe you don't have any physical, like you don't have a car, maybe, or a house or an apartment in New York City. Maybe that's what you're talking about if you don't have any assets. But I'm sure you have other stuff that you have, like a portfolio that you're building on the side, that you're saving some money into, right? Right. And hopefully, once you start working remotely, you leave New York City. I have invested over $100,000 into my education, and yet I am still poor. I don't believe you from the specific fact that I don't want you projecting. Right? Don't say you're poor. Oh, no, no, I'm not poor. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm definitely not poor. Right? Yes, I can't afford to just on a whim fly back to South Africa right now. Which in my mind, right, like wealth to me, true wealth is getting to make decisions like that, right? Oh, I would like to go and see my family in South Africa. Let me go see what the plane tickets cost. Oh, okay, here's one. Bye. Right? I don't have that level of capital yet in my life. and still I don't feel poor, right? I feel like as long as all of your needs are met, you are still very much in the upper echelons of like society kind of thing. I do know what you're talking about though when it comes to like the world you are competing with in New York City, where in comparison you might feel poor, right, to the people that live around you. Dan, you live in New York City? Holy moly, bro. New York City is so fucking expensive. We're all going to toast the Sedona, even has the Boogie McDucks. I bet the weather there is perfect this time of year. I don't know what Boogie McDucks is, but it sounds sick to me. Again, when I saw our tab for one round of drinks, I was just like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, she mentioned something like what $25 drinks or something like that, right, Christy? Then when we went we went somewhere less expensive. Checks out. We have Dan saying, "I'm forced to live here, Toast. I moved to Tampa in 24 and didn't plan on leaving. But after 2,500 plus job applications in the worst tech market, I had to take the first gig that made an offer, and it was in New York City. At least you got that job. Yay. Huzzah! 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 I'd say move here, but KC is like salted and burned as far as the tech industry goes. Shit ton of layoffs around here, pretty much everywhere right now, unfortunately. I don't know about that, Mel. I googled the cost of living for an English teacher in Beijing the other day, and it said that you'd easily save money on the salaries they offer while getting takeout nearly every meal. Yeah, as an English teacher, right? Because you are like literally seen as an external novelty, right? And in China, it is very important to parents to ensure that their children have the best fighting chance in their job market. So they're willing to almost like spend all of their disposable income on education, which means that if you are an English teacher in Beijing, you demand a certain high salary because you are providing a service that that school will sell to the wealthiest, literally the wealthiest among us, right? The people that can afford to send their kids to private school, those are the people that you're catering to. So in that way, yes, I'll say even for myself, I saved more money per month than I ever have working as an English teacher in China. That is the truth. However, the reason I could save as much is because there are a bunch of rules in China. As a foreigner, you are not allowed to own property. You are not allowed to rent property, right? Literally. I couldn't, as a foreigner, go to a real estate company and be like, I would like an apartment. I have the money. Can I sign a contract somewhere? They'll be like, nay, no. You have to have your school sign that contract for you. And it's usually almost like rolled into the expectations where they do that for you. They pay for your living. Literally. All of the places that I stayed in was paid for by my school. And then you get paid your salary as well. And it is, as you said, you can go and eat out pretty much every single day and still walk away with money to save. Quality of food will be a little bit questionable, and you might have to go out of your way. You can't technically just order it to home. Like I spent a lot of money ordering food to my front door when I was in China, unfortunately, as well. And I got very fat. I gained, I think, 30 pounds when I was in China. Mm-mm. I gained 45. I gained 45 pounds while in China. So in that way, yes. But again, I was a foreigner in a foreign country, for me at least, and I was being paid my foreigner salary, right? So in that way, I don't think it's indicative. Like cost of living for the average Chinese citizen is not the same as for that foreigner, unfortunately. Sounds so very cold. Oh, my bones. It's not that cold. I don't think so, at least. It was kind of like there was no snow even there, I don't think. Hi, bro. Luna saying, how are you? I'm from India. I know. Balaji, Nayak Namaste. Thank you. Bye. This is nighttime. It is nighttime in India now, isn't it? Or at least going towards it. Bless you, friend. Thank you for joining us. Philly, I affordable is affordable, but ghetto. I sent Dan a video of someone getting chased on foot in front of my house. They were being chased by someone else on foot, or were they driving their car with people chasing next to them? Still kind of concerning, GVs. Melt, I just spent the last hour going through a coffee disaster that made yours look like a walk in the park. Coffee, wet grounds on the floor, cabinets, refrigerator. Yay me! Mojo, my dear friend, I hold your heart. I hope that I guess that you're done cleaning now. But yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I do know what it feels like. To the friends who wonder what's Mojo talking about, recently I had a moment where I had to go and make myself. Well, I wanted to put some cream in my coffee as well, like just like the easiness of, oh, I'm just gonna put some cream in my coffee and then bring my cup with me again, and then I put the cream in the coffee, and then I put this part on top of it, but I didn't screw it in, and then I went to go get it and I picked it up, and then this whole thing fell over, and then it was just like coffee also down the side of my fridge and down into our pull out trash can. And I was like dying inside. I was just feeling like this visceral, like, I hate this. I really hate this. Because again, it was my coffee. That's like the one thing that's gonna give me a little bit of a pep in my step is now being stepped on with pep. So I feel you, bro. I'm sorry. Mojo. I hope that you're recovering, bro. F's in chat for our buddy. Love is true. Very nice. Just my nice. Google Translate did him nasty. Shame. I just Googled what a person with my skill set would make working in Beijing. Melt. I'm seeing $5,000 projected monthly salary with approximately $1,700 in living expenses. Could be a neat adventure. Yeah. If not, why not? I mean, if you don't like it, you can come back. Right? Go and experience something new. In New York City, I make $6,000 a month, and my expenses are approximately $5,000 to $5,500 monthly. China is more modern, safer, and cleaner. Plus, I spend $5,000 almost exclusively cooking at home. China is so much better. I mean, if you know, you know. I'm not gonna say the thing that me and you know, Dan, but maybe there is gonna be a reason. Maybe there's gonna be incentive. Maybe there's gonna be a want for you to go to China even sooner rather than later. It's not even close, like by insane margins. The only trade-off is that America has better legal protections, but good luck using them. You won't be able to afford a good lawyer. Yeah, man. If you ever want to make that big money, let me know. And I will get you into preaching. I'm gonna buy a solid gold suit. Are you MJF the wrestler? Yep, that's me. This is my alter ego. You know how Hannah Montana had like that one where she sings and then one where she's like normal personing? That's basically me. This is the not Hannah Montana. This one. And then the Montana one is the MJF the wrestler. Poor is not a feeling, Melt. It's something we measure with statistical data. And again, what I'm saying, Dan, is that because of that statistical data and the space in which you are considering the statistics, you feel poor, right? Right. 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 You are loved. Gotta make pizza rat pay rent as well. Yeah, man, life is definitely getting hard. Things are getting more expensive. Work is paying less at some places. But I'm trying not to see yourself as poor. If you're not actually poor, you know, I get it. Love is true. I want you to be wealthy. That's the biggest thing. Lol, Zobird yelling when you dropped it. Did he yell? Oh, when I dropped my coffee, yeah, he was also losing his mind. It was like, stop screaming on that side. I'll wait to you, Lucas. Dan says, yes, combat. When the history books are written, the 21st century will be known as the century of American humiliation and Chinese supremacy. I don't know. I don't know about that, Dan. I really don't know about that. Right? Like I do a fair bit of like watching both sides. I haven't been doing much of it recently, to be completely honest, so I could be capping a little bit. However, it's I think it's a matter of propaganda, right? There's a lot of propaganda going around. And I think America has had a lot of good propaganda going for it. But all of the propaganda that I have learned, that I have absorbed about America, is true. Right? It's kind of true. And the propaganda that I learned about China wasn't in the same way. And again, I was technically one of the lower income individuals when I was on that side. Still high relatively, but still low globally, right? In that way. So maybe it's a matter of perspective. Maybe I need to have more. When I first started dating, my now hubs gained 20 pounds in 1 month. Gaining 20 pounds in 1 month is impressive. Like, I don't even know how you do that. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. That's so wild. The police was chasing them on foot. I think that's worth 45 pounds. That's a lot of dumplings. Probably all the MSG, right? Ah, MSG doesn't make you fat. But yes, weirdly enough, dumplings was one of the things that I ate the most of. They would be these little like hole in the wall places that would sell these trays of dumplings, and I'm pretty sure there was either 20 or 25, like 5 rows of 5 or 5 rows of 4, right? Of like a tray of dumplings, and then they would send a little like chili oil thingy with it, and I think that was it, right? And then you would like crack that tray open, and with chopsticks you would, and they would like be these little spring onion chicken flavored dumplings. And I ate, I don't want to say hundreds. It's probably not hundreds. At least 50. I ate at least 50 trays of those dumplings. I think the real thing that made me fat, weirdly enough, was Papa John's. Papa John's and freaking Burger King, right? Like when I was in Yangzhou and Huai'an, I had access to delivery services, but the food was a little bit better in the way that there was these little fruit shops that would like sell these whole like things of different types of fruits pre-cut, and it was wonderful. I loved it. And then when I moved to Shanghai, because of my district, all of the and I was like living in a really poor district. All of the nice places were too far away for me to order from them, but there was still a Burger King and a Papa John's, right? And they would have these specials that they ran, and I would get those specials where they would like you would pay, I think like $12, and then you would get like 4 burgers, kind of thing, and then I would get 4 burgers for $12, and I would eat all of them. And I think then they would offer like two big large pizzas. Like you can get one large pizza for like $9 or 2 large pizzas for $14 or something like that. Where I was like, might as well eat 2 large pizzas, and then I would eat 2 large pizzas every day for months. That's how I gained 45 pounds. That's the only way for me to gain 45 pounds is if I eat average 4 burgers or 2 pizzas, two large Papa John pizzas. And I was not good. I felt really bad during that time. And I got more and more depressed. Big surprise. Hey, hello, my happy brother. Hey, Jadula. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, dear friend? Let me see what I missed. Sober. I don't feel poor. I have everything I need. I am poor because I have to live with the fact that I would be homeless in 6 months if I lost my job. Hmm. Well, you won't be, right? Because if you were homeless, I'll make you a spot in our basement, Dan. Love you, bro. Get enriched. Oh, feel rich. Feel rich, dude. You'll never be homeless. Oh, I'll come and kick your ass before you're home. It's like, what did that come from? I'm just imagining Dan like shaking a can next to the road and me being like, this one, I'm gonna kick your ass and then I'm gonna put you in the car and then I'm gonna drive you to the basement. And I'm gonna lock you in my basement and I'm gonna buy a bunch of shoemaking ingredients and I'm gonna put you to work. Start making shoes. Why am I doing this? I'm sorry, Dan. I love you. Well, the good news, Melt, is you're gonna live to 1,000 years. So if my 21st century prediction is wrong, you'll live to see it. I'll be like calling you out, right? It'll be my whole thing talking about how wrong you were. Love is true. Morning, Mr. Mel. Chief Lakota. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us and for your kind, warming morning welcome. I'm starting to think that Dan is the Chinese spy. I mean, he's already been infiltrated. Can you put a curse on my boss? He's a member of the Triads. He's actually just their errand boy. And then I heard the word that sounds delicious. I think you're talking about the spring onion chicken trays of dumplings. It was. It was actually good. It was like really cheap too. I think it was like $4. No. Yeah. It was like 40 RMB for a bunch of dumplings. It was like really cheap. Go on over to Tumblr and ask any of the goth chicks there. They should be able to help you out. Yo, Papa John's, that's too much fat. Those breadsticks are pretty fire though. I didn't get the breadsticks much, but they would give me those garlic thingies, right? Those garlic sauces, and I would eat the entire thing. The pizza and the entire garlic dip. And the garlic dip is like basically vegetable oils as well. So I was poisoning myself, definitely. As awful as it is, I like Little Caesar's crazy bread. Oh my goodness, toast. Hello, my happy brother. God bless to you too, Jadula. All right, Sam, talking about goth. I drove by a house yesterday and they had a huge skeleton outside and weird, creepy shit. I said, what the fuck? It's not Halloween unless you're goth. He's gonna be playing his guitar. He's gonna be playing his guitar with the case open. Suddenly, that one missed me. I think there's a person here in our town as well that has one of those giant skeletons. They have like a really nice house, right? One of those, like, I think 3-story building houses with a swimming pool. And then a big skeleton outside where I'm like, yeah, we see you have money, but you don't have any taste. Hey, Google, what do one of those big skeletons cost? Huh, $300. The 12-foot skelly at Home Depot is only $300. Okay, fine. Fine, it's not that expensive. I thought it was gonna be like 1,000, but this is only $300 is still a lot of money. That's still a lot of money for big skeleton. Why? Why? Just so that you can be intimidated by it and be like, that thing is too big for me to want to move it. I'll just keep it in my garden. These things stupid ass. It's not about finding a place to stay, Melt. It's that if I could not secure a job with the equivalent salary to mine, then I would be evicted and lose the credit I've built over the 12 years overnight. Yeah. Would you? I'm sorry, Dan. Maybe you have debts that you should be able to continue to pay, right? I know you lose your credit scores if you cannot continue to pay your debts, but you don't have any assets. Maybe you still have some debts in education. Like me being like, you don't have to explain your financial situation to me, dude. We love you, financial situation or not. And I'm not trying to make you feel unheard and you sharing the what poverty feels like kind of thing in America. And I agree with you in the statement that America is also only a nice place to live if you're rich. But me and Joe, by American standards, aren't, right? Like you earn like 3 times almost as much as Joe earns, right? And yes, different skills, different place, different cost of living. But me and Joe is really good at budgeting, right? She has a whole thing, like a little spreadsheet that she puts in her values of like fuel, of leisure, of health and wellness, of food, of rent and utilities, right? So we can like see where all the money is going every month. And despite the fact that I have come into her life, right, and added that financial expense, because I do so much of the cooking myself as well, our food budget hasn't suddenly like went up 3x kind of thing, right? So even in that, right, of her adding a whole extra life to her current financial ability, right, didn't put us in a state of poverty. And I look forward to being able to have a job as well and add my own financial backing to this family unit that we're building. But it will take me some time, right? We are closer than ever, but apparently it is a process. It takes a long time for you to get your stuff get approved before I'm even allowed to work. So, all of that said, I don't want you to feel unheard, Dan. I am hearing you that it is hard, right? Feeling like you're getting ahead, right? That you're not just treading water kind of thing in America, and especially in New York City. It would take literal years to build it back up. Like new six-figure job and then roughly 3 to 5 years of building back my credit score. How would I even rent a place after an eviction, even with a salary? Yeah, pretty absurd. You'll have to, which you could do, and maybe that's the thing, right? If you have 6 months that you could live in New York City with, maybe you could live 2 years in a place that doesn't have New York City kind of cost of living, right? So, silver linings, me looking for them. There must be a silver lining here somewhere. Oh, wow. It's you. Yes. Yes, you are the silver lining. Why is Dan pretending like the stuff he's worried about is not what everyone worries about? This happens to anyone that's not super rich. I think that's the point Dan is trying to make, is that many Americans are worried about that, right? That many Americans are having that experience. And I think he was sharing from the perspective where I said that China is only really a nice place to be if you're wealthy, right? And then he was like, America is only a nice place to be if you're wealthy. And guess what? South Africa is also only really a nice place to be if you're wealthy. But again, nice is relative, right? Nice is getting to do what you want to do. Nice is getting to see what you want to see, getting to eat what you want to eat without any discretion. Uh, Quality of life, I think, in America is baseline higher because of the things you don't have to worry about, right? Uh, yeah, it's like again, like it's like electricity, right? In South Africa, I spent, I want to say, a year at least a year, probably more, but at least a year of my life, right? The 20 plus years that I lived in South Africa, right? So between five and I'll even go up to like 10% of my entire life was spent without electricity, right? You can't turn on a fan. You cannot turn on your PC, your desktop PC. You cannot run a microwave to heat your food up. You cannot boil a kettle so you can have some tea because our government cannot keep the lights on, right? So then, in that case scenario, if you're rich, if you have like infinite expendable income, you buy your way out of that problem. You buy yourself solar panels, you buy yourself battery, you buy yourself the expertise to install it, and then boom, problem solved, right? Kind of thing. Here in America, you don't have those same kinds of problems. So you don't need that same kind of wealth to solve those kinds of problems, right? And in that way, you almost are like freed because of your baseline societal comfort. Your problems are above instead of below, right? South Africa is still trying to get the baseline going, right? Just having electricity, and it's doing better. It is doing better, especially since they opened up our at first state-owned company. Like South Africa had a system where only one company that's state-owned is allowed to provide electricity to the entire country. They recently, like literally, I think last year or just last of last year, they abolished that rule and they started allowing private companies to start installing solar and putting it on the grid. And then miraculously, there was energy in abundance. Who would have guessed? Who would have thunk it? Oh my goodness! You can just deploy more renewable energy. Oh, wow! Oh, wow. I think America is going to realize it. Weirdly enough, the power that this house uses is renewable. Right, the company that provides us our energy is 100% renewable. All of our energy comes from solar. Today in Indiana, like a red state, right? So the writing's on the wall. Things will get better and cheaper again, you know. And I think it's gonna be one of those things where, as we transition away from oil, uh, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And the fact that it's so uncomfortable to use oil is gonna help us transition, right? Ideally, we can all become more wealthy, not because we're earning more money, but simply because things become less expensive, right? And again, it's a matter of energy. Everything that we consume needs energy before we get to consume it, right? So if that energy price drops, then the price of the things we consume has to drop as well. Again, that is assuming that these massive companies are willing to take profit cuts, which is not hopeful, but again, competition. We do kind of. We don't live in perfect capitalism, unfortunately, right? If we lived in perfect capitalism, it could be maybe a net good, but we'll see. We'll see how things continue to progress. America is in a good position to be okay, but it's still going to be some growing pains, I'm sure. Cosine down. That's what Les had to do when worse comes to worse. It's so expensive living here. I want I went to get one haul of groceries, one bag. It was $70. Like what the fuck? Yeah, that's wild. When did I say I was the only one combat? We are all poor in America. That's my whole point. One medical expense, one layoff, and any of us would like go under. It's a bad country. I think I'm lucky in that way, where I have a lot of experience and perspective, right? I've lived in three different Chinese cities. I've lived in two different Chinese, no, South African cities. I've lived in a South African rural farm village, and now I'm living in, again, almost like a little tourist spot, surrounded by mostly agriculture as well, right? So I still have a lot of experience to gain, but in my personal perspective of all of the flavors of reality that there are available to us, this is a good one. This is a good country. All right. I don't think it's perfect by any means. Right. I also am in the process of looking for a job because it would be nice to have more financial income. But living in South Africa, 60, 60% of people my age, our age, are without work. Right? 60. Hey, Google, what is the unemployment figures in China? I think it's 14% the last time they reported it. But it's probably higher. It's probably significantly higher. Huh. Okay. There we go. Youth unemployment. 16.1%. 16%. In the urban areas, it's only 5%, which is pretty good. And in ages 25 to 29, my age group, it's 7%. So, how about South Africa? The official overarching rate is 30%, a 5-year low. The expanded rate, which includes discouraged job seekers, right? So that's only the people actively looking for work, desperate for work. That is 30, a third of our entire country's population. If you include the people that are just no longer looking for work because there is none, it goes up to 42%. That's for everyone. And then for our age group, youth, 15 to 24, it's 57%, right? And then 25 to 34, it's 44.4% unemployment. How about America? Fucking 57% unemployment. Oh my. Ask me how I know. Yeah. And then America, the national rate is 4.3%. So just now, South Africa's national rate is 43%. 10x. A 10x increase in joblessness. And then the unemployed persons is approximately 7 million. And then the U6 rate involves discouraged and underemployed workers is 8%. And then the youth unemployment, which is 16 to 19, that's what you consider the youth, is 13%. So yeah, like that's also a part of a country's statistics, right? How well a country does is not just a matter of like quality of life, because again, quality of life in South Africa, or cost of living in South Africa, I should say instead, is very cheap, relatively speaking, right? With the amount of money that me and Joe spend on food in a month here, we could literally be eating steak every single day. Steak and broccoli and cheese. Like we can just eat steak every day. Nice thick rump steaks, right? We could. However, the likelihood of you getting a job, right, to afford said steak, if you're my age, you are competing with 57% of your age group population for the same jobs. And then even if you get that job, because of that level of competition, the salary gets driven down because they're going to take the person who has enough skills to get by, but will take the bare minimum salary because they're competing with millions of other people for the same job. That's how you know when it's bad, Dan. That's how you can feel the bad, because there's no way for you to not be poor, even if you wanted to be, even if you were really dedicated, even if you worked hard. I applied for multiple jobs. They wouldn't even reply to me, right? They wouldn't, like, again, there's so many people applying for that same exact job that they wouldn't even reply. Because again, they don't care. They don't care much about. No. We're talking about eating rump steak, like actually eating the rump steak. Oh no. Mm-mm-mm. What I'm saying is that there's a state of hope in me for this country and for my life in this country, right? And we're living here together, most of us. Hey, Zoe, you want to go bye-bye? Let me come and say hello. Hello, Zoe. Hello. What's up? You want out? Come on. Come on, Zoe. It's a good birdie. It's a good bird. Mm. Yeah, you're out. Hello, Zoe. What a good birdie you are, Zoe. Hello. Mm. Hello. You happy? You happy on the couch? What a good birdie you are. What a good bird. I have 3 kids as well, so they need snacks. I pack their lunches, dinner every night. It's so expensive. We have to budget on food. Richest country in the world in human history, and its citizens live on the brink. Bad country. Ugh. Ugh, excuse me. Not saying we're starving and the kiddos aren't fed. It's just insane how expensive it is just to live. There is quite literally no excuse for it. This I'll agree with. We have Mr. Wonderful here too. Hey, you just Googled my title in Google. Oh, I'm sorry. It just happened again, probably. Sorry, Mr. Wonderful. But we got money for bombs. Don't worry. Exactly, Toast. Yeah, you friends know how I feel about the war spending. We've in length talked about that part, right? Right? Even the fuel. Even if we could just take the money that they spend on the war machines to run them, just to like have the diesel, the crude oil burning in them, we would have enough money to house every single person on planet Earth. Isn't that interesting, Zoe? Isn't that absurd? Yeah. So you don't have to tell me. I'm there with you. We got Nancy here too. Comparisons aren't super necessary. It's not anecdotally relevant. I'm just sharing my experience, right, as a comparison, because we are talking about countries as they compare to each other, right? And I can only anecdotally talk about the countries that I have lived in and have experienced with. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hello. Hello, Zoe. You know what I mean? Huh? Hello. Hello, Zoe. You coming over here? You coming over here, Zoe? Hmm? Wanna give a kiss? Wanna give a kiss? Oh, Zoe, Zoe. You're being a sweetie bird. Hello. Hello, Zoe. Hello, Zoe. Hello. Oh, Zoe. You're such a good birdie. Hello, Zoe. Hello. He likes the attention. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, I had a little gap in here. Did you read my joke about going to China to get fat like an American? No, I missed that one. It's pretty funny though. It's pretty funny going to China to go and eat American food. I had my first taco and Taco Bell in that space as well in China. You being a good girl, Zoe? You a good girl? What you doing? Wow, some big sounds out there, don't you think? Some big sounds happening out there. Huh? Wow. What's that? He's being a silly Burby. Trump is pretty funny though. Yeah, sure. Not exactly the quality you look for in a president of a country, right? Maybe the quality you look for in a comedian. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hmm? Yeah, maybe if you're like looking for a comedian, that's the kind of qualities that you're looking for.
Hello.
Hello. What you doing? What you doing back there? Huh? You want a cookie? You want to come? You want to come step up? No? Runs past me. Just like, no, I don't want to step up. I like being on the couch right now. Actually, that's what I'm here for. Hello, Zoe. It's not about the conditions everywhere. It's about the enormous amount of wealth America has, and yet we allow our citizens who create that wealth to live on the brink. Like, I hope you know that I'm not the one holding the levers, right? Being like, yes, I'll only give all Americans a little bit of the wealth. All right. I'm I'm just as disillusioned with you about that part of it. I'm talking about the part that has already been spent, right? Because a lot of, and I think this is what most people don't realize about America's wealth. Most of America's wealth is in the land, right? The stuff itself, the roads, the houses standing, the infrastructure, the pickleball courts, the walking paths. I don't think you're supposed to eat that. I don't think you're supposed to eat that stuff. I don't know. I think you should be fine, but I don't think you're supposed to. That stuff. That stuff is the wealth that kind of like goes beyond like the parks. The amount of nice parks that I've seen in America already as well. Like that stuff takes money. Lots of money. And I've not had to pay a single dollar to access those parks. Right. And that is a kind of wealth as well. China had great parks as well. I'll say that much. But we did not have nearly as nice of parks in South Africa, for example, because of the level of wealth inequality and disparity as well. Yeah. There's just not as much money. There's just not as much money to do stuff. You just can't. Yeah. Joey, what you doing? Yeah. He's being all giddy. You're being a giddy birdie. Yeah. Very good. Happy. You happy? Yeah. You a happy bird? You're so happy. Just chilling. You want to come and step up? There you go. Let's go get you a cookie, okay? Let's get you a cookie. Yeah. Say bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Mwah. I'll give you a cookie if you say bye-bye. Let's go. Come on. Let's get you that cookie, okay? I'm gonna get you a cookie. You good bird. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Look at that, Zoe bird. Ooh. There you go, Zoe. Yay! So lucky. Such a lucky birdie. Good girl. Zoe. That's a good girl. Enjoy your cookies. Enjoy, Zoe. Enjoy. Give me 1 second. I need to go to the bathroom real quickly. Sweet. Back again. Thank you for holding this space for me. When you gotta fart, you gotta fart. No farts were had, but it is true. When nature calls, you pick up the phone. Ain't no way about it. Ain't no which way you listen. Full circle. Someone mentioned it at the beginning of stream. I completely misunderstood. We were thinking about moving to Puerto Rico and starting a business, but it really wouldn't be any better than here. Poor infrastructure, high energy cost, power outages. Yeah. That's how it's going to be in most places, actually, right now. Right? Most places in the world has those kinds of issues. And America and China are amongst the best when it comes to having established all of that energy infrastructure and just actual infrastructure, right? That's the real wealth of America. And it ain't going anywhere, right? It's literally on the ground. It's like concrete and rebar and electric lines and systems of like water flow. What goes in must come out. Yeah, exactly. Let me see some more. I guess the rolls of paper towels that rumped through at the Puerto Ricans didn't help. The water heat source had to be heated by propane. We had at least 5 minutes to shower without it getting cold. Yeah, and here in America, you have big kind of like industrial almost water heaters that have their temperature set hot enough so it's comfortable, but not so hot that you burn yourself. Like the level of systems here is like so otherworldly. I can tell you, Colombia has a lower cost of living and lower quality of life, worse economy, more danger, yet the people are happier. Not anecdotally, but it's a happiness index. Its happiness index is higher than many Western countries. I'm not surprised. Honk, funny. Now I don't know what to think. Think for yourself. How about that? How about that? That's a good one. How about that? Sorry, no disinformation. Yeah. It sounds like Zoe is saying, yeah, every time you make a point. So at least you got the Zoe master agreeing with you. Me and him are homies. We understand each other. He likes being out every now and then. I'm happy that I got to give him what he was looking for. He was being a good bird, right? So I felt like it was okay for me to come and bring him out. I know that I don't want to live in America for the rest of my life. I just need to travel more to find out where. Travel to South Africa next, right? And again, in South Africa, if you have solar and ideally ground source water, you can live, right? You could grow your own food. You could have some chickens, maybe a few goats, maybe some sheepies. If you're ballin', you can have some cattle. You could really make a living there. It is hot though, right? So again, save your cash. Save the next 5 years. If you can save $100,000, right? Which is not no amount of money, but 5 years to save $100,000, I think it can be done by some, right? Let's say it takes you 10 years to save $100,000. That should be enough money for you to get yourself a little home established, right? You won't live nearly as lavishly as you're living right now in America, but you could build yourself a small home. You could buy yourself a small piece of property that you will own, and you should be able to grow your own food on the land because of the sun belt down there. It's the sun shines. You're gonna have to freaking probably spend some money on netting to make sure your food doesn't get crispy. But yeah, go to South Africa next. I am biased. I grew up there my whole life. No, I don't want to think. I know. My guess is how community and family are prioritized. That you never feel alone. Someone has your back for childcare or housing. Families live together. The rat race isn't nearly as hectic. It's a lot more fun. South Africa has that quality to it as well, right? Things are way more slow there. But it's also because you're like, you don't really have the same metrics to compete with, right? Like there is There is little to compete with in the same way, the way there is here. If anything, friends. We have family there. That makes a difference. Zoe, what goes in what amount? Comparison has been considered the thief of joy. One person's hardship doesn't negate another's. Different sets of unique challenges that everyone's facing. I agree completely with that statement, Joe. Uh, Comparison is, I think, the thief of joy. However, I was trying to use comparison as a means to create more perspective on how good, because again, the only thing that I can account for is my own perspective, having been in both sides of the world, right? And I'm comparing in me these things, and they don't make me feel like I have less joy. Makes me feel like I have more things to be grateful for instead. But it is true. If you compare your life to another in a way that's like, oh, they have this and that, and I don't, that's where the joy kind of gets stolen. Spain sure sounds lovely. New Zealand sounds pretty cool too. I've had multiple family members move to New Zealand and then move back to South Africa because it's the same problem there. New Zealand is really hard to to live in, right? Spain sounds amazing. You friends, none of you are talking about the South Americas. Weirdly enough, like if I had to like look at another place to live, I would look at like Argentina or something like that. Right? Legitimately, like that place is a lot going for it. Actually, is better, more going for it now than ever. To retire in the Shire. Oh, bliss. It's beautiful there at the very least. It's just in France. There wasn't any fucking air conditioning. I run hot. Certain places, yes, but where we stayed in Paris, Marchiel and Les Isles Les Chaux, nope. I probably butchered both of those names, but that's also the other thing. The fact that there is climate control inside our buildings here is pretty nice. I do like it. I'm great. How are you? That's nice. Kid D asking how Christy is. There is land for sale in the US, 100K and under, but is it habitable? I don't know. There's a lot of land for sale even in this area for 100K and under. Habitable? I think so. I think it's just a matter of like building a space that you can inhabit, right? And the standards are pretty established. And I think that's the big thing that's expensive in America is like getting the approvals and following the standard and having consultants come out to inspect and there's so many layers in America that adds extra cost. Yeah, I've been practicing my yoga just because of you. Because of me? I am not good at it at all. I'm flexible for a big guy, but I'm not that flexible. My teammate wife My teammate's wife is a yoga master. She's incredible. Well, I'm really proud of you, Combat Journey. Like, yoga is one of those things that is hard, right? I feel like that's one of the things that I was very disillusioned to before I actually started practicing, where I was like, oh, I lift weights, right? I push 100. That's what makes me strong, being able to move this heavy weight, right? And then I started doing yoga, and it suddenly dawned upon me that this is harder than the stuff that I was doing, lifting heavy weights. And I was like, there's something here. Gaining more flexibility is one of those things that is a strength. It's actually a strength. How strong you are, your body's, your muscles' ability to bring yourself back from an overextended position is how flexible you are, right? So you could potentially go like touch the floor, but your muscles literally stop you from doing that because they don't believe that they have the ability to bring you back from it. And every time you train and you push yourself to that spot and you bring yourself back from it, it's a rep. And you get more and more flexible as you get stronger, right? And that flexibility will translate into your martial arts as well, I'm sure. I look forward to you telling me that you're getting stronger. School is draining. Melt, did you finish high school? I did. I did finish high school. She also dabbled in jujitsu. She's still a white belt, but her yoga skills are no joke. That's cool. I hope that you're getting to like run classes with her. If not, I hope you're just doing like stretches. Like the lower back is the part that's hardest for us to kind of like touch or feel comfortable with. So I hope that you're doing lower back stuff at the very least. My family is trying to get Portugal citizenship just in case we should move. That's good. Having some extra things in the back pocket. If you're more on the muscular side, combat, it can be difficult to get into some poses, but not every pose is for everybody. Nobody told me that for years, and I wish they had. Yoga is a personal pursuit, right? I say this to my students as well, is that the way that you look in your pose, right? I'm just giving cues. I'm showing you the way that this pose looks in my body, right? And the way that it looks in your body, that there is in some classes the expectation for a teacher to help correct your form. However, on the base level, the way that you practice, if you're practicing, if you're staying mindful of your breath, it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? Like there's a teaching of my teacher Ryan, who said that if the only thing you can do, if you're so injured, if you're so stiff that you cannot even lift your arms above your head, and the only thing that you can do is just breathe. Right? Actually use the full range of motion breath. You'll still be practicing yoga, right? You'll still gain benefits. It's nice there, a bit cheaper than Spain. True. Are you on Discord? Dan mentioned Portugal as well. It's so beautiful. The first time I was invited to do yoga with them, I was like, yeah, I love that. And then I showed up with a spoon and I realized they didn't say yogurt. I love yogurt. No, we're gonna do yoga. It's like, "But where's the yogurt?" So I was pretty sold on having some yogurt. And yes, I did. Are on the Discord. Good. Yes, I am. Flexibility, Joe says, is definitely a byproduct of practicing yoga. If it's the focus, goal, or aim, then it's more exercise rather than yoga. Yeah. Joe is right in what she's saying. So to almost like back what she's saying, I, in my personal class, the one that I give to my students, have been doing the exact same asanas for like 1,500 or so days, right? Where I'm doing the exact same practice day after day after day. And as she says, the goal or focus or aim for me wasn't to become more flexible. The goal or aim for me was to establish a consistent practice at that point, right? And in showing up for that consistent practice, right? And uniting with myself and getting to know my own body, flexibility, as she says, was a byproduct, right? An inevitability. I had to or would have become more flexible because of my consistency in showing up for that practice. And now I'm more flexible than I've ever been in my life. And I have tests that I do on a daily basis to see if my flexibility is still intact. And if I've had a hard day, if I've pushed myself, if I've spent uh, 14 hours driving, pretty much actually, like we spent like 16 hours driving. If I've spent 16 hours driving in a weekend, suddenly because of all of that sitting, my lower back and my flexibility as a result of it is not the same. And then I have to, again, in that consistency, show up and work towards regaining my flexibility, right? I think that's the part that can be very disheartening about a yoga practice, is because you can start and you can be consistent and you can see progress, and then you suddenly see the opposite of progress, and then you're like, what the hell, bro? I thought I already made that progress. And again, yoga, uniting with yourself, is about not having that judgment, right? Not having that as a reason to quit, right? Being like, well, I guess this isn't working, so I might as well stop doing it completely. Continue consistently. Thanks, Juan. Is it okay if I contact you there? I visited Portugal last year and I have a few questions. Do reach out, Nancy. Thank you for asking as well beforehand, friend. Me telling you that, yeah, reach out to Mr. Wonderful before he said that he's okay with it. I'm always happy when new friends connect with others. There we go. He's giving you a thumbs up. Nice. You got the thumbs up. Mm. I think it's time for us to pull a card. Should we do some work your light today? Joe says, yoga notices where you are here now. Recognizing the mind body connection, it's not a striving for anything, but a simply being, non reaching, a coming home to the body. Yeah, coming home to the body. What a beautiful sentence that is. Makes me want to do yoga. It is time. Am I gonna pull from this deck? Mm-mm. I don't think so. I'm gonna do the work your light deck. Okay. You friends know the rules. Whoa. Okay. Sweet. I'm glad Melt Stream is still live. I got on late. We have been doing a little bit longer of average streams, I think, huh, Nanshi? Like, usually our average was 1 hour, and I used to end it on that hour because it used to get like late. But now it still feels very early. Maybe I will start doing more extended streams. I think I'll have to figure out a way to keep these devices charged. I think that's going to be my biggest barrier to continuing. But other than that, I think I could make a plan. That, or I'll have to set up this computer and then get OBS installed and maybe do a live stream like that as well. Okay. You ready? You ready? Is one of you friends going to tell me when to stop? Nope. Okay. I'll wait. Pots. That counts. Thank you, Joe. Last card. I think we pulled a card yesterday. Lol. No. No, not that one. You want me to pull the last card? This one? We've already pulled this card like 5 times. It's again the break the chain card. Break the chain. This is the card we talked about 2 days ago. No pull if. What? No pull Joss. What's happening? What's happening? Joe already said it. Yeah, Jovan. Jovan said pots. The reverse of stops. I mine crickets. Jiminy crickets. All right. This is the card we pulled today. I still think it's a good one. I'm happy with it. It's called Pillar of Light. Pretty psychedelic looking, I think. It's got that solar energy passing through a being with outstretched arms, reaching into her world that is unfolding. And it has like a little bit of a mirror effect as well in the middle here, which feels kind of related to Joe's pots, a mirrored stop kind of thing. All right. Pillar of light. Pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. You are the oracle. I found it. Our favorite pollinator. Hey, Hoopty Hoops. Mr. Hoops, we pulled Pillar of Light today. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. You are heaven and earth in perfect expression. A conduit for the light of the heavens to the earth. You are a rainbow bridge. Take time to meditate. Imagine yourself as a pillar of light connecting the heavens to the earth. As the light shines through each of your chakras, you activate the rainbow bridge that many ancient scriptures speak of, raising your vibration and the vibration of the planet, linking the higher realms of the cosmos, the guides, the angels, and spirit with the ancient wisdom keepers and beings of planet Earth. They dance together through you. They sing together through you. Without your body, voice, and creations, neither can be expressed. For too long, we've been taught that God is outside of us, giving away our power to angels and spirit guides. But without you, there is no voice. You are the oracle. Do not look for guidance outside, for you hold all the wisdom of the entire universe in the portal of your heart, in every cell of your body. Do not see the angels and guides as above you, for without you, they have no way of communicating. You are the oracle. You are the rainbow bridge. You are the pillar of light. Hold this card on your heart and say, I allow the light of the heavens and the earth to flow through me. I activate the codes of remembering within my cells and chakras. I activate my system as a rainbow bridge between heaven and earth. I activate my system as a rainbow bridge between heaven and earth. I was like going through all of my chakras. First thinking about the top of my head like a crown, open to receiving energy from above. I looked with my eyes to the top of my head, imagining that energy coming down, and then I moved with my eyes to focus the point of my forehead. Seeing it pass through my third eye, I looked with my eyes down to my throat, passing through my throat chakra. And then instead of looking with my eyes towards my heart, which is what I started trying to do, I literally felt myself looking with my heart. Right. Instead of being focused on my eyes and the information that comes from here, I felt into my chest and the sensitivity thereof. As I was placing this card on my heart, I was like, yes, I can see something with this heart energy as well. I thought about my willpower, my energy system. I thought about my creativity and romantic relationship. And then I grounded myself into reality, knowing that I am a pillar of light. So are you. What a dear pleasure it was to be a pillar of light here alongside you friends today again. Thank you for joining me, for sharing a little bit of this space. I appreciate your presence here again. It's a pleasure getting to share this moment with friends. I hope you have such a beautiful day, one filled with splendor, filled with hope, filled with kindness, if not towards the world, at the very least towards yourself. Trust that change will come. Change will always come. And it is going to be about how we adjust to it. The way in which we adjust to change, good or bad, right? That is the real power. It's not the fact that things will change, but how we adjust to these changing things. I appreciate you, friends, and I thank you for joining me again. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Love ya. Cheers.